Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back for another one of its notorious updates. Your host as always is Split Personalities and Parallel Universes George, and in today's episode we have done some work on our Leopard 2A5 from Italeri in 1 to 35th scale and kit number 365. So, I want you guys to grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, and of course crack the mandatory cold one because this update is a lengthy one and you are definitely need a cold beverage. I hope that everyone is ready because Past George is back and he is going to take over. Let's see what he has done. I hope you guys have missed me. Past George is back once again, guys, and I'm over here to talk to you about my work on the assembly of the Leopard. As you can see in front of you, I have started from the lower hull, and those parts that I attach over here, I suppose that they are the shock absorbers for the tank. Of course, as any time, because I don't know my stuff really well, you are welcome to correct me in the comment section below. I also want to point out that I haven't attached everything onto the lower hull because I need to detail paint stuff like the road wheels, idlers and sprockets. So I left them aside and I will attach them onto the second update. So things here were easy enough. There are location points and holes for every part, and it is as simple as you can see in front of you. You just apply glue and the part on the proper place. You have just to be sure that it sticks really well. It is positioned really well. Just check this out and then you progress. Over here at the second part, I forgot to record, so I am just gonna show you how I attach the axles for the idle wheels. For 4 pieces, simple step. Once again, there is a location point. Pretty easy and simple to go. Just keep an eye out that they are aligned properly and set and let them set. Now it is the time for me to attach the axles for the road wheels. Once again, these parts are keyed. You just apply glue, simple as that. I may be a little bit out of frame or I have a blurry image. Bear in mind that it is difficult for me to record and build at the same time. So guys, be patient. I will find a way to work this out one day eventually. In this frame I attached the axles for the idler wheel, if I remember correctly, pretty easy. It has two location points. You have to line up both of them so the part can sit properly. So there is a moment there where I try to find the hole to enter the pin, which is located at the left side. And there it goes, it is ready. Let's go to the other side now. Here you can clearly see both holes, the big and the small one. And at this moment I am going to assemble the road wheels. This is the only part of wheels that I'm going to assemble. If I am not mistaken, I think that they are 14 in total. A small trick over here is to line up the knobs from the sprue, so you will be able to clean them up faster and more easily. There is a tip from me to you guys. When you're working on tanks, especially German ones or modern ones, there are a lot of wheels, so there is a lot of cleanup and sanding needed. So small tips and tricks like that make your life easier. You have to share those stuff. Now that they're lined up, they're gonna be more easy to clean. And I have assembled only 3 in front of the camera because it is a boring process. You don't need to be to see all of that. 3 or 4, I cannot remember how many I assembled anyway. There is 4. And they're all ready. And now we've made it to the first part that it was a bit difficult for, if you ask me. Over here I had to attach the upper hole to the lower hole. Of course you need to drill a hole over there for the antenna or the tow cable, I cannot remember correctly. Anyway, you need to drill a hole over there, so I drilled it. Now it is your chance to do that. And then I will try to attach the upper hole to the lower hole. Thing over here is that there are not so good location points, if I may, so you need to be careful. Same thing for the rear armor plate. You need to be extra sure that it is lined up properly and there is no gap over there. Location points on both on the upper hole and on the rear armor plate are not so good, as I said before, so it was extra difficult, and you're gonna see. in a while. Don't worry, I make this gap disappear that you see over here by fiddling with this part after I recorded the video. And what did I told you? Never stayed in place. And I'm out of frame over here, I'm sorry guys. Now the gap is disappeared. I paused the video over there just to make sure that I'm gonna line it up correctly. Of course, I'm not gonna make it with the first go. Now you need to glue the upper hole onto the rear hole. Be careful of the gap between those two, and you need to glue all this to the lower hole, and make sure that this thing, the whole assembly, stays put until the glue sets. So my choice over here was to leave it as it is and then glue the rest of it off camera. This is one of the easiest parts, is to apply those grab handles onto the side armor plates. They are labeled E and F, each one for its respected side, so I grab a Sharpie and labeled it so I can know which part is which. Again, it is a pretty easy part of the build. You just apply the grab handles and make sure that they are properly positioned. That's what I do over here with my tweezers. And I'm gonna leave those two aside because I need to attach the wheels and tracks. And they are both ready. Here is a better look after all the blurriness. This is a detail part that goes onto the rear part of the hull. There is an antenna and two brackets. A bit of iffy placement. There is a hole on my left finger that you probably won't be able to see, that it's going to help you align the part. The rest of it you can attach it by imagination. Anyway, it laid down pretty good. Just remember, every piece you applied on this build needs to set up correctly. Let the glue cure, that's what I mean. So you need to be extra careful. Now I'm gonna apply a tiny piece that I don't know what it is. Here it is. You can see how tiny it is on my tweezers. Luckily it fell in place in just relatively quickly. And final, no, here it is again. I was made to take this part of frame to check if it is placed properly. So take a look at my mat over here. Beautiful, isn't it? And we turn back. I am sure that it is in place. And here is a closer look of that part. And final piece is the antenna. The rest of the parts will be Pioneer tools and tow cables that I'm gonna leave as always up until the very end. The antenna is keyed, so you will be able to place it relatively easy again, once again. And here we move on to the detail parts for the front part of the hull. We have the headlights and these armor pieces that are marked with an X. You know, you're gonna see right now. These pieces, I mean that they are marked with an X. This part of the build was relatively easy and quick. Everything fell in place as it should. Once everything is in place, we're gonna have a nicely detailed front end of the vehicle. I would never expect that I will say something like that for a modern tank, but here I am, proving myself wrong. Right now I am installing the side wing mirrors. They have holes and they have a small triangle that will help you locate them and reinforce the attachment points. You won't be able to see that because I am off frame, of course, but it is there, believe me. Luckily there are grooves, so you can line up these armor plates correctly if they are armor plates. Anyway, I believe that they are. Once again, you guys have to correct me if I am wrong. This will be the spare track holder. There is a set of spare tracks that needs to go above that part, but I'm gonna leave them once again up until the very end because I need to detail paint them. And right now I am attaching the tow hooks. There is one for each side, and you're gonna see, okay, I am off frame, of course. Me and my robust videos. And we make it up to this part of the video, which is of the assembly, sorry, which is once again iffy because you need to attach the headlights onto the vehicle, but there is no location point. So the placement goes by my imagination, where I imagine that the headlights are going. There is some bad engineering over here from Italeri because you need to have location points for stuff like that, especially for detail parts. But anyway, I think that I have made it to work. I have worked it out. Here is a closer look after all the parts I attached on the front of the vehicle. Let's see it. Yep. And right now we have started with the first part of the turret assembly. Over here the parts are keyed, luckily, because the turret is a huge piece. These are some vision blocks for the loader or the gunner. Sorry, for the gunner, probably. Surely for the gunner. Keep in mind that you have to paint those vision blocks, but I wouldn't be able to attach them later, so I attach them right now. There are some holes and there are some pins on the sides that I'm gonna attach right now. You need to be extra careful with the application of the glue because Tamiya extra thing or every other runny glue will bleed out from the outer side. There is another key that needs to be lined up over there. And luckily these parts are almost quote-unquote snap fit. I was lucky over here. I make sure that everything is in place, and I'm gonna apply some glue and press fit so I can close the gaps. And here we have it. Leave this part aside, be sure that the glue is set, and our upper part of the turret is ready. This one is another vision block, probably the commander's vision block, if you ask me, probably. There is a separate assembly that needs to be attached onto the next part. Once again, I'm gonna attach it right now because I won't be able to attach it later. This part has a nasty seam line running onto the middle where I apply the glue over here. so it needs some sanding and filling with putty. So bear that in mind. And if you are also careful with the placement of the glue onto the next part, you can make it movable. Here I'm toying around with the vision block to see if I have placed it correctly. And because the instructions are not so clear, I believe that I have placed it correctly, but that's my opinion, and you know what they say about opinions. And right now is the time for us to attach that vision block that you've seen before and the turret ring. Let's start with the vision block. You press it through that hole and you attach that ring to secure it in place from the inner side. Be careful with the glue over here. And if you're lucky enough, you're gonna have a moving part. Now is the time for me to attach the turret ring and the turret basket. Once again, the turret basket is not a well-engineered part, so you will be facing a problem to line it up correctly. Take it slow, take your time, and you will be probably okay. And this is the final part that I attached for this update. So until the next time, guys, that's everything that I have done. I hope that you have enjoyed the video. Past George is out. See you on the next update. And with all that said and done, here is how the Leopard is looking at the moment. As you can see, I have already finished the road wheels, but not all of them. I am missing the idler, sprocket and return rollers. This will go at the very end. When I will finish my work on the lower hull, like painting it and stuff like that, when I attach also the tracks. Next step will be to add the side armor plates that I have finished over here. Here is a closer look of them. So these parts need to be left aside for the moment. Then I have completed most of the assembly of the lower hull. Parts that are missing over here, of course, is the moving gear, side skirts, pioneer tools and tow cables that will be placed over here in the engine deck, most of them. But apart that, almost everything is ready on the lower hull. And here is how the turret is currently looking. Now, turret needs a lot more work because it is a separate kit itself. It has a lot of mambo jumbo need to be attached on the next steps, but I choose not to do that because this is a lengthy video after all, and it will be more lengthy. Oh, I knocked over the mirror. I'm gonna fix that later. Anyway, as I said, the turret will be a separate update, and my next course of action will be, of course, work on it, finish with the main assembly, and maybe do some base coating, luckily. Anyway, this is how the Leopard is looking, as I said, and that's everything for today's update, my friends. Before I go, I want to thank each and every one of you guys, because if it weren't you, I would not be here doing my videos and stuff like that. New and old subscribers and viewers, thank you for stopping by, taking a look, and supporting my channel. I hope that you like what I do over here. If so, you all know what to do. Please leave a like, a comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.